Sykes in Vancouver, Canada is home to the BC Lions of the Canadian Football League. Tonight, it hosts round 2 of Supercross Lights competition, a part of the Mobile World Supercross GP Series. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside a former Supercross Series champion, Jeff Emig. Last week at the opening round in Toronto, Martin Davalos took the checkered flag in the win. Now there's no points up for grabs up here in Canada, just money and pride on the line. Davalos showed a lot of speed. Can he take another round here in Canada?
I think so. Last week he could have been, criticized that not all the top guys were there, but we have 3 more fast guys. We have Ryan Sykes, Jake Weimer, and Ryan Dungey. In the qualifying practice earlier today, Davalos was still the fastest, so I think he's on track for the season.
Well, let's give you the 4-1-1 on the Supercross Lights class. Here's how you get into the main event. 2 heats, top 9 straight to the main. There's 1 last chance qualifier event. Top 4 out of that will go on to the main event. It'll be a 22-rider, 15-lap main event. And remember, no points at stake here tonight. Well, before we drop the gate on heat number 1, let's touch base with our pit reporter here tonight, Aaron Bates, for a Progressive Direct pre-race report.
Well, you're going to notice a couple new additions behind me, but take a look at the factory Makita Suzuki rider, number 62, Ryan Dungey. Tonight, he's making his pro debut in Supercross. You would think that all pressure would be on his shoulders and his nervousness would be running high, but that's not the case. He said, you know, all this pressure just fuels the fire. I've trained for this moment. I'm so amped up for this moment. He said as long as he gives it 110%, he'll be happy with his performance. Guys?
That is one excited young guy, and he is ready to go. Really like his personality. We spent some time talking with him earlier today, and that's a kid who's got a bright future in this sport.
Yeah, the thing about Ryan is that I think that his confidence in his very first race comes from his preparation. Obviously, he's been training and practicing with Ivan Tedesco, Ricky Carmichael. He says he's learned so much from those guys. So, very first practice I watched him, it was awesome. He seemed as confident as a seasoned veteran.
Here's our Dunlop starting grid. Ryan Dungey right in the middle. Jake Weimer here with us. That's a rider to take note of.
Yeah, Ryan Sykes and Weimer on the No Fear Hondas, both come up here for this event. Should look for good things out of them.
Brock Hoyer in here, and a lot of local and regional riders as well. Ryan Sykes is on the 55. There he is. On the Honda out of Corona, California, waiting for the gate to drop. And Sykes, just like that, right into the lead, and he'll take the whole shot.
Yeah, these are 2 of our guys that weren't in Toronto last week. Come up for this one selected race, get a little practice before the West Coast Series starts. This is just how they wanted to start the evening.
Right behind Sykes comes the 73 and Jake Weimer, the other rider that we were talking about, who should be strong contender here tonight.
Yeah, the Factory Connection Honda team here, backed by Sobi and No Fear, they're perceived as one of the premier lights teams. They've been in it for a long time. They've had a lot of success. Definitely a great team to be on.
We caught a glimpse of the 84 of Michael Willard. He's battling in about 3rd, 4th position right there. Fighting it out with the 244 of Tyler Kalisiak, and he gets around Tyler with a rear end just coming right around on the 84, but Michael does a great job of pulling the KTM's rear end back in line.
Okay, one thing I want to talk about, Ralph, is the fact that the track is brand new right now. I walked the track in between practice and the heats as they were working on it. The track was so deteriorated after the practice. Tons of rocks coming up, tons of ruts, a lot of rocks in the faces of the jumps. Right now, these guys are on a perfect track. By the end of the heat races, track to be wasted.
We've been watching that battle between the 84 of Willard and the 244 Kalisiak. Also, we caught a glimpse of Ryan Dungey in there as well on that 62 Suzuki, the bright yellow bike. There's Willard, there's Dungey right there. And Dungey is moving his way up through there. Whoop. There's a 244, and he's now fighting. He's got the 916 coming up chasing him out of Utah. That's Gray Davenport.
Yeah, Dungey didn't get the start that he would have wanted, but he's up to 4th now in this heat race. So we'll see. I think he's going to put in some pretty good laps here. Definitely somebody we're going to keep our eye on.
And here's Willard on the 84 trying to hold off Dungey. And look at Dungey come flying through. I thought he was going to get him just before that corner, but no such doing as Willard holds off as they continue this battle for 3rd. Dungey getting a taste of Supercross competition for the first time. First pro Supercross lights event. Something he'll never forget. And right now, he's looking to improve his position in the main event gate. We'll be right back to Vancouver. Back to our Supercross lights competition in Vancouver here in BC Place. There's Michael Willard, who has just lost a position for 3rd to Ryan Dungey on that yellow number 62, the Suzuki.
Yeah, and if you go back, you remember Willard had a great ride last week, was one of the top 5 guys, but I believe he was 4th. Dungey's coming out his first race, moving to the front in this heat race. He got Sykes and Weimer up front of him, but I mean, it's a pretty impressive start. Like I said, I've been watching him all day. He's been riding fantastic.
Do you remember your first Supercross event? What kind of feelings did you have?
Yeah, I was nervous as can be. I mean, crazy. I hole-shotted, won my heat race, and led 11 laps of the main before I crashed. Not the way I wanted to finish. Good start, not a good result.
Here's your race leader, the 55 of Ryan Snipes on the big red Honda. Sykes having a good run here. Pretty much has this one in control, and as long as nothing goes crazy for Sykes, he should have no problem getting a good gate pick in the main event. And again, as we said earlier, this is his first race of the year. He was not in Toronto. Looking at some of the slower competition in front of him that he's working by, and here's how Dungey got by Willard.
Yeah, got a great drive out of the whoops and just cut under him, just squared him up. That was a textbook pass.
Pretty good for a 17-year-old, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, he looks like a seasoned veteran, even though he was 17-year-old in his first Supercross event. You know, the thing about Sykes here, he got hurt last year. I was at the practice track. He was messing around into the day, just wheeling through these whoops. Bike got away from him, hit a rock or something, broke his foot, ended his Supercross season. But the Factory Connection team realized that this kid has a lot of heart, a lot of determination, put him on the team, and looked like they made the right choice now.
Checkered flag for Ryan Sykes. He takes the win. He'll have a host of other riders coming through that will transfer with him to tonight's main event. Weimer, Dungey, they're all across the line. So is Willard. Here's a look at the 9 riders that are advancing straight on to tonight's main event. Ryan Sykes will lead this pack of 9 in there. Right now, Ryan's standing by with Aaron Bates.
Well, thanks a lot, you guys. Ryan is fired right up. He's riding for a brand new team, the Sobe Samsung Honda team at that. Ryan, do you feel as though you've got a bit of a point to prove here tonight?
You know, it's a warm-up race, so we're all up here to have fun. But I'm going to end up riding the East Coast this year, so it's a good. So I don't, get stale over the off season. But yeah, super pumped. The team's awesome. I want to thank everybody over there at Sobe No Fear Samsung Honda. It's going good.
He's ready to go here, you guys. Look forward to the main event.
Did you miss any AMA racing action? Want to relive the excitement? Watch all the 2007 AMA Supercross and Superbike events on Speed, on demand, online, and it's all free, courtesy of Yamaha. So log on now to speedtv.com, keyword Yamaha, and get up to speed. Heat 1 is in the books here in Vancouver. Let me show you the starting lineup. Our Dunlop starting grid for heat number 2. The rider that won last week in Toronto, Martin Davalos, is in this one, and the rider who just didn't seem to want to win, Troy Adams, is in here as well.
Yeah, Troy Adams was super fast last week, was leading his heat race, fell, had a good start in the main event, fell, posted great lap times, but just didn't get the finish he wanted.
Osborne in here as well. That's a rider who we'll be talking about, I think, a lot this year.
Yeah, had his first Supercross event. Seemed pretty comfortable. I think he's got a bright future for sure.
This is another 6-lap affair with 20 riders. The top 9 will go straight to the main. Everybody else will go on to the last chance qualifier. And Martin Davalos looking for real. Fastest in practice today as well.
Yeah, he was fastest in practice. He seemed to have really had a great offseason. On with the factory KTM now. Look for a great season from him.
And it's Martin who jumps out to the early lead and gets the whole shot on the field.
You know, I thought he was from South America. I think he's going to want to move to Canada after the end of this race. He's had some great starts here in the last couple of weeks.
Martin Davalos on that 577, a KTM rider. He's being chased by the 702 of Jimmy Albertson. And boy, Aaron, Martin Davalos really looking like he's going to be a contender this year.
Yeah, absolutely, Ralph. In fact, I was able to catch up with him earlier this afternoon, and I found out what those two KTM riders, Zach Osborne and Martin, were up to last night. You wonder what young kids do on a Friday night before race day. Well, they were at the go-kart racetrack, catching up a little bit of race mode action. What they were trying to do, they know they've got a lot of top contenders coming in this weekend. They know that they've got a big battle on their hands.
And I was fortunate enough to be a part of their racing team last night. We had a big OGO party, and everybody was out there having a great time. Unfortunately, me, Martin, Zach, Andy Bell, and Andy's brother came up 6 seconds short of winning after an hour and 40 minutes worth of racing. Somehow it had to have been Martin's fault. It certainly wasn't mine.
Yeah, definitely.
But we had a good time. And these two young riders here, Martin and Zach, had a lot of time to spend with them last night. Just intense about their competition.
And so it was definitely not your fault on the lap times.
I can't imagine you would even think so. Come on, Evan.
Yeah. Man, Davalos has been just having a great couple of weeks here. You can see in these turns, it's you know, they pack it down pretty good with the tractors, but it's going to get really loose, and all these rocks come down off the berm. Makes it hard to cut down early out of the berm. Later on, Dungey showed us in the first heat that it can be done, but as the night goes on and as the track goes away, it's going to get real tough.
One of the things I think Martin does so well is watch him through the corners. Boy, he is so good through the corners. The speed he carries through there, and that's one of the spots where he really tends to stretch it out. Right now, being chased by Zach Osborne on that 168. What do you like about Zach's riding style?
Well, Osborne, his whole career, I mean, I started watching him, I mean, 6-7 years ago when he was, when he was an amateur kid riding a 65 and an 80, and he's won at every level that he's been at, and so I look for him to, gain experience now. Who knows? He gets a whole shot. Maybe he can get out there and win a main event this year. He's definitely got a great future.
Look at these two right in line, right through the course. Riding spectacularly here so far in heat number 2. If they only could have run that well in that go-kart race last night, we might have won. We'll be right back to the winner of heat 2. BC Place. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada is where we are for round 2 action of Supercross Lights competition. Part of the Amp Mobile World Supercross GP Series. That's your race leader in the blue riding gear on the 577 KTM, Martin Davalos, the winner of the opening round in Toronto just a week ago. Watching him working through some of the slower traffic here tonight.
Yeah, this section right here, as it deteriorated in practice, became very difficult. Like I said, right now the track's still in pretty good shape. It was even giving trouble to the Supercross riders on the 450s.
Almost dragged a foot there.
Yeah, one thing, there's going to be so many rocks that are going to come up. It's going to make it, incredibly difficult.
Well, here's Zach Osborne, Davalos' teammate, and Zach's best time is about a half a second slower than Martin's.
Last lap, though, he was pretty close, but overall, yeah, he's a little bit off the pace. I think, to be honest with you, he's probably just staying out of the roost with all the rocks and some of that soil coming up. When you go through some of the faster sections, the roost hurts really bad.
Well, and you can see all the rocks at the bottom of the corners especially. As you said, they all kind of fall downhill. and form the pocket down there, and you can just see them stacking up.
You know, the riders, they don't like the soil here. I think, I call it challenging. Because what it's going to do is it takes even the best rider, and even the winner is going to make a mistake here or there. So I think it makes the racing a little bit better.
There's third place in the blue and white riding gear, the number 702, Jimmy Albertson, who's from Mount Vernon, Missouri.
Albertson putting in a great heat race. This is what you want to do. Get out there, nice, comfortable place, the top 9, qualify for the main event.
Checkered flag for Martin Davalos. Something he's seen with regularity so far on the season. And his teammate Zach Osborne will follow him on to the main event.
Now right now he's just checking out the lines through the whoops, just seeing, okay, I know where I win every lap.
9 more riders have earned spots in tonight's main event. Martin Davalos, the first one. Daryl Eklund, the 9th one. We'll get some more out of the last chance qualifier coming up in a little bit. But first, let's meet Martin. He's standing by with Aaron.
Well, he's keeping the momentum going from Toronto last weekend, and he had the fastest practice all day. Martin, somehow, some way, you've managed to find a little extra speed through the corners. What are you doing differently than other riders?
I don't know. I've been just practicing a lot and, you know, putting a lot of time on the bike. My Red Bull KTM bike is just working great for me, and I'm really excited that the team works really hard, and, you know, I'm just out here to put some laps in, get some training, and get ready for A1. That's the main thing for me.
Make sure you catch the Speed Report tomorrow right here on Speed, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, for all the news and insight and the why from the world of motorsports. Well, the heat races have been completed here in BC Place. Last chance qualifiers coming up, followed by the main on the home of the Supercross Light Series, Speed. The World Supercross GP to establish itself as a world-class racing series. At the inaugural race in December of 2002, the series gave the riders and fans an early look at what might happen once the new year began. David Villeman gave the World Supercross immediate credibility, capturing the opening round at the Geller Dome in Geneva, Switzerland. But it would be Australian Chad Reed who would go on to win round 2 and capture the season title. It would be the flashy Aussie's first world championship. Historic rains greeted the riders in the south of Spain, and history was made on the track as well. Darrell Hurley became the first Kiwi to win a World Supercross.
And now it's New Zealand's Hurley with the win. He takes the checkered flag here in Seville, Spain, and throws his bike down. Paul Lindsay, the MotorRacing.com Suzuki team manager, gives him a hug.
Honda's Ernesto Fonseca took round 2 in Arnhem, Holland, but it would be Yamaha privateer Heath Voss who would beat the odds and add his name to the list of Americans that can call themselves world champions.
It's so much fun to be racing for a championship. It's just totally different racing for points or racing for a championship than riding for position.
2005 saw 5-time AMA Supercross champion Ricky Carmichael head north of the border in search of his first world title. RC's victory in Toronto was the first for an American at the opening round of the championship. The Floridian continued to dominate and went on to win the World Supercross title.
A world champion, I've never had a world title, so really proud.
The series finally arrived as the top 3 riders in the world took a run at the title. Reed, Carmichael, and James Stewart were all on the line as the gate dropped in Canada. Waiting for the gate to drop, it does, and we're underway from Toronto. The 4-year-old series saw a 4th different champion as James Stewart won the closest points battle in series history and held the #1 plate at season's end.
Champion of the world, baby. Can't make it feel any better than that. You know, I bust my ass this year. You know, I tried my best out there, and I'm so pumped to get it.
The 2007 Amped Mobile World Supercross GP champion will once again not only have to beat the competition, but will have to stay focused during the more than 31,000 miles traveled while stopping in 17 cities. Getting ready for the last chance qualifier for Supercross Lights. This is where the final few positions will come out of for our main event. Last chance to qualify. Here's your Dunlop starting grid. Oh, actually, let's show you our up close first for this last chance qualifier. 4 laps, 22 riders. As we said, the top 4 go on to the main event. Everybody else to the grandstands. Now, here's your Dunlop starting grid. Kyle Beaton from up here in Canada on that 33, pretty quick rider.
Yeah, definitely. This is where you're going to see a lot of the Canadian riders are trying to gain some experience in Supercross.
Oh, one rider off into the tough blocks. That's the 65, Foster.
Yeah, he was so close. He almost had the whole shot. He was in the middle. The guy with the inside bumped him just a little bit. He tangled with the guy on his right. And not the way you want to start at LCQ. He's pretty much going to be out of the race now. I mean, at least as far as the qualifying position is concerned.
Taking a look at the field, sorting themselves out here. The 54 is Coots.
Well, I mean, in the LCQ, you're only allowed 4 laps here. Getting the start. I rode a couple of LCQs in my time, and it was all about getting the whole shot.
Lee Coots out of Mission, British Columbia. He's chasing the 33 machine. Kyle Beaton.
See, he comes in from the outside. The guy in the middle just gets pinched off. He had nowhere to go. He was just a handlebar behind, so his handlebar was behind the guy in front, and it's just an elbow. One little elbow took him down. But he's doing something different here. As the track deteriorates, this guy put a great line there. Doubles over the tabletop, double, triple out. That's going to be a great line as the night progresses.
That's Kyle Beaton, who we talked about at the very beginning of the race on the 33. Local rider from Surrey, BC, which is a part of the Vancouver area.
I have no idea, Ralph.
You didn't know I knew my Vancouver geography, did you?
I know we're in British Columbia, so that's about it. Good battle for the bubble here. All 3 of these guys we're looking at. This is second, third, and fourth. And in the lights class, they take 4 out of the LCQ that go to the main event.
Moore is on that 716 machine. Dan comes out of Clallam, Washington.
The mogul section is getting real squirrely, real sideways through there.
Mogul sections don't look that difficult when you're just looking at them because they're so low to the ground compared to the loops or the big obstacles, but they can really trip you up.
Yeah, especially tonight, because as I walked the track earlier in the night, I noticed that there were so many rocks coming up. What's going to happen is the rear wheel could catch a rock here or there when you think that it's so easy, so maybe you relax the hands, maybe relax the arms a little bit, try to breathe and shake off the arm pump, and all of a sudden you clip a rock with the front tire, everything gets squirrely. So what appears to be an easy section could turn into a very difficult section.
White flag is out, 1 to go. Remember, top 4 go. The names in red across the top of your screen are those that have not earned a transfer spot. Those in green have.
And these guys got to be careful. They don't want to be bumping into each other, taking each other out. They're in qualifying position right now. That's all they need to do. Just follow behind, make sure the guy behind you, that you have a pretty good distance and that you're comfortable.
Because really at this point, when you're coming out of last chance qualifier, another spot or so isn't going to make that big of a difference in your gate pick.
Yeah, not too much.
Oh, however, that being said, the 246 at Urquhart gives it a go, and Kevin picks up a spot, the rider out of Kent, Washington.
Yeah, just basically took advantage of going through that rhythm section a little differently, a little quicker line than Coots did.
Here's Beaton on the 33, checker flag, he's going. And he takes the win. Who's going to join him? Last corner to the line. Urquhart's going on. Coots is going to make it. And the final rider getting a transfer tonight to the main event is Dan Moore out of Clallam, Washington on the 716. Those young guys having a good time. These 4 guys having a good time. They're going on to the main event tonight. That's coming up next here on Speed. The Supercross Lights main event last week was won by Martin Davalos. Can he do it again? All on the line in the best 3 out of 5 showdown, settled in the quarter mile. It's a duel between heart and horsepower. Lose a race, lose your ride. Don't miss Pinks, beginning Wednesday night at 9 Eastern, 10 Pacific, only on Speed. There's a good look at beautiful downtown Vancouver. Definitely in the festive mood for the holidays. Happy holidays to all of you out there. Season's greetings to you. We hope you are enjoying your holidays and maybe making Supercross a little bit of it. Our crew has done a great job of decorating our booth here with garland and trees. Here's our Dunlop starting grid for tonight's Supercross Lights main event. Ryan Sykes, very quick, but Martin Davalos, boy, he's been strong the last 2 weeks, Jeff.
Yeah, KTM definitely has to be happy with his results up here in Canada and looking forward to the season in the States.
Here's your Supercross Lights up close as we get closer to the starting grid or the starting gate dropping on this main event. This is a 15-lap event, 22 riders. Now for Progressive Direct pre-race report, here's Aaron.
Well, a couple new additions here tonight, you guys, that we didn't see in Toronto. Ralph, you had already mentioned them, but Ryan Sykes, Jake Weimer, Ryan Dungey. There's going to be a couple new guys to the mix. Martin Davalos, he's been looking sharp in practice, and he won his heat race, but he knows he's in store for a much bigger battle here tonight.
Ryan Dungey getting ready for that first Supercross Lights main event. There's a 30-second board. She'll turn that sideways, run for the side, and we'll be underway.
You know, Ralph, I'm liking the spot right, just to the right of the middle, just to the right of the box. I think that's where the whole shot's going to come from.
That would be over here.
No, actually, Ralph, from the right of the box over in here.
Oh, screen. Okay, screen left in. All right.
Screen left.
Oh, looks like I was right. Should have gone with me on that one. This one's underway. And Willard jumps out to an early lead, and he's carrying our onboard camera.
Yeah, fantastic start for him. He took advantage. I believe it was Sykes that actually had the whole shot. Might have hit a rock or something after he hit the first turn. Lost his momentum, stayed up to the right a bit, and Willard just snuck on through with the lead.
That's Davalos right behind him on the 577. And he takes a quick look over to see who's... Davalos just go off the course?
No, he had to go to the outside there. There was both those guys were going for the same line. That's a split section. So Davalos ended up going wide, and that seems to be a slower line here as the race progresses.
It cost him a ton of time, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
He dropped so far back so quickly, I thought he was completely out of it.
Sykes is going to go by on the right here. Look to the right of the screen.
There he is on the 55. Front wheel sky high as he comes into that mogul section, taking up the lead and a tough block right in the middle.
You see, Sykes had a cool little wheelie going there, kind of crossed it up a little bit, was totally confident that he was going to make the pass on Willard.
And Davalos is now up to second as he gets around Willard. Let's go back and take a look at the Progressive Direct whole shot replay of how this one began.
Well, you know, Ralph, I thought I had this wire that the whole shot would come from the right, but you seem to know a little bit more than I do. Sykes gets in there, he's perfect. He just goes a little wide. He's very lucky to keep that on two wheels. I think he hit 2 or 3 of those tough blocks on the way. Perfect start, and just hit them moguls, which we said was what was a very easy spot.
Here's a replay of Sykes getting by to take the lead. And Davalos closed right in as well.
Wow, what a drive Sykes got out of that turn and just shot past him for the lead. That was awesome.
Don't worry, Jeff. If you and I both lined up in that gate, even if I had picked the right side, you still would have beat me to turn 1.
Well, I was known for some good starts, and you know, that's something that I prided myself on. That was something that I thought, hey, this is what I need. If I got any chance of winning a race, I got to start up front, drag my feet to the finish.
This one's scheduled for 15 laps. Martin Davalos, the winner last week at Toronto, led all 15 laps on his way to victory.
And this is both of our heat race winners here too. So these are basically the 2 fastest guys of the night. It would be interesting to see if Davalos really hangs it out here. He's been really comfortable over last weekend practice heat this week. He was really comfortable riding within himself. Sykes, though, is out front. Might even be pulling away a tad bit here, so we'll see how much he hangs it out.
Here's Ryan Dungey on the 62. He's in 3rd. This is a young rider, just 17 years of age. His first Supercross Lights main event. And he said that obviously he came here to win. He felt the second would be fantastic. How do you think he'll feel if he could just make the podium?
I think he'll be happy with the podium, but he comes from the Suzuki team where he's been hanging out with Ivan Tedesco and Ricky Carmichael, and second is just not good enough. Or, yeah, second, third. He's not going to cut it. Got to win.
The 34, Adams. Boy, he had a crazy weekend last weekend in Toronto. He was one of the fastest riders there, but Troy just couldn't put the whole race together in the heat race and the main event.
Yeah, he ended up on the ground last week. Right now, setting in fourth. He's got to be thinking that he needs to concentrate on his lap time, concentrate on himself only. Unfortunately, he's got Zach Osborne breathing down his neck.
Osborne finished second in his heat.
Osborne, spectacular amateur career, coming up here to Canada, getting first-time experience in Supercross, and seems to be making the best of it.
You see they're running just under 10 seconds behind our race leader.
56.2 for our race leader as we're watching Adams here. Adams is back at about a 59.2 on his last lap, so that was quite a bit off the pace. I look for him to pick it up.
On the orange KTM is Zach Osborne, Troy Adams on the yellow Suzuki. Oh, the big finish line jump.
Yeah, see a pretty good rut there starting on the outside. The left side of the finish line is the preferred line. So as that gets deeper and some rocks come up, they're gonna move around maybe a little more to the right. God, look at that boulder there, Ralph. That is unbelievable how bigger rocks are coming out of the track.
Back to the front. This is Dungey chasing down Martin Davalos.
Yeah, and these guys are only a couple seconds behind Sykes, and Dungey, who's had some of the best lap times of the night.
And he's going right into second place is Ryan Dungey.
Notice how he just stayed low over the triple jump there, Ralph. They call that a scrub. James Stewart coined it because he could scrub lower than any other rider. They coined it the Bubba scrub.
Flying through the air looks exciting for the fans in the grandstands, but it's not the quickest way across the jumps. Low and quicker to the ground is better because you start accelerating away.
Yeah, and it's something that you have to practice quite a bit, and that you use even through the rhythm sections. It's not just on the triple jumps. You know, to be through rhythm, wherever you can stay low and go forward rather than going up is going to produce the fastest lap time.
Oh, down goes Davalos.
His good luck in Canada has just ended.
Last week's winner is down on the ground and now has Troy Adams coming by, taking him not only out of contention but off the podium as well. Martin bounces back and Adams has a problem. He has had just horrible luck in Canada, Troy Adams.
I don't know if something happened to the bike. I don't know if something happened to him, but he came out of that turn, he made the pass, and then all of a sudden rolled every jump after that. We're going to have to check on Troy Adams there and see what happened.
Now Davalos' main competition is his teammate. These two finished 1 and 2 in their heat race. Zach Osborne chasing him down.
Funny story here about these guys, Ralph. They both had very successful races last week. I made a comment to one of Zach Osborne's sponsors that was on the phone with them. These guys are out tested. I said, hey, you need to tell Zach he needs to get a haircut. Talk to these guys on the way to the stadium today. They both got haircuts on Monday, so they're listening to the old pro here.
Well, maybe by cutting their locks, you cost them some speed, though.
Yeah,
Aaron has Troy Adams.
Well, Troy had some tough luck last weekend in Toronto, but his luck didn't get any better here. Troy, what exactly went on out there?
I don't know. His bike started messing up, and I think the gas was starting to boil. I don't know. We've been doing a lot of testing, and we haven't run across this yet, but I'm sure it's the guys can solve it because the team has worked so hard, and for something like this to happen, it's kind of a bummer, but all the Rockstar Energy and Suzuki WBR guys have been looking great for me, and we just had some tough breaks, and Anaheim one's going to be a lot different story. So, I don't know. All I can do is thank my mechanics Marcus. That's it.
Sometimes these engines can run a little hot and boil that gas, and it just come right out on you.
Well, the 250F having much smaller piston than the 450, just like every one of the little bikes, whether it was the 125 or the 250F, you're just trying to squeeze so much power out of it, and looks like they're having a problem.
Well, he's out of it. These two are very much in it. Davalos and Osborne battling over third as they chase Sykes and Dungey here in Canada. We're coming right back.
What's the best thing about this bike?
For his first race of the season, it looks like he might be taking home his first trophy of the year.
Yeah, Sykes put in a great main event so far. Came back after a little mishap off the start, leading the race. You got Ryan Dungey coming from pretty far back. Dungey's about 0.3 of a second faster than him on this last lap, so we'll see if the rookie Suzuki rider can catch the lead.
Sykes on the Honda looking very solid all night long. There's Martin Davalos. He's in third, and he's got his teammate Zach Osborne battling with him. There goes Dungey.
Yeah, these guys have become pretty good friends over the last few months, riding on the same team, training, hanging out together. I imagine they're going to keep it pretty clean. They're probably having a pretty good time here. But Osborne, you know, he wants a little bit of that glory too. He wants on the podium here. So
I thought that was Dungey just in front of them. Actually, it was Dan Moore. Dungey's a little farther up.
Davalos just totally messed up that rhythm section, and Osborne went by.
Is it easier or tougher riding against somebody who's a very good friend of yours?
Well, I think that there's probably a level of trust and respect, knowing that you guys are working out of the same truck. You got to see these guys that, you know, you're not going to take them high. You're not going to do any cheap shots or any of that. It's when you have your worst enemy behind you that you really have to watch your back, especially in a corner like this after the finish line jump where there's a big, wide open 180-degree turn where the fast line is coming in wide and the inside is wide open. That's what we've seen tonight with a lot of block passes.
Martin just looks frustrated to me. He just looks like he's trying really hard, and it's just tough for him to find his rhythm tonight, unlike last week where everything just clicked.
Yeah, his heart rate might be running a little bit high now. After that fall, his head might be going, okay, wait a second, no, I'm not going to win. You know, what's going on? So, but not with this guy. Sykes is having just a great ride tonight.
Sykes, I believe, is going to be running on the East Coast region on the Amp Mobile Supercross Light Series. So he's going to have a little bit of a break before he gets back into competition after tonight on the Supercross Tour.
Yeah, I was looking at the lap times here, Ralph. This last time around, you had Sykes at a 57.6 and Dungey has slowed to a 58.5. So it's going to make it tough for him to catch up the leader unless he improves that lap time.
Here's Ryan, young 17-year-old.
Fantastic style. You notice what he's doing right there, Ralph. He's seat bouncing in the middle of that, and he's doing a triple single out where the other guys are just doing a 2-1. I know that that's faster doing that way, but his overall lap time is down from Sykes.
Third place behind them, the 168. Off in the distance, here he comes. Zach Osborne.
Yeah, that's about 20 seconds. That's a pretty good gap, but I think Osborne, I think that he's going to be happy with the third place here. He's gained a lot of experience, having a great time racing Supercross. He's just beginning this awesome journey of becoming a Supercross champion.
And there goes Zach with the finish line jump.
Two laps
more work to go, yeah.
2 to go, and these guys are catching quite a bit of lappers. I don't imagine that it's going to affect anybody real bad. Most of these guys that are some of the back markers, they're pretty much tired. They're going to get out of the way.
Here's a good look at Sykes again, putting in his paces. What kind of things go through your mind? Is it tougher to keep your focus this late in the race when you've got a pretty comfortable lead? He's seeing that from his mechanic.
Well, as he's got 1 lap to go, he's done this. Sykes has been doing this every day. He probably does 3 or 4 main events every day that he goes to practice. So right now, there's not a lot of pressure on him. I would assume that he's very in the moment right now, and it's almost that he's just on cruise control.
And Ryan Dungey, this youngster, he's came here to do just this, if not win, finish second, and that's what he's going to do. Great beginning for Ryan Dungey.
Yeah, you'd have to think that Roger DeCosta and all of Team Suzuki feel confident that they made a good choice. Dungey came out of the intermediate class straight to the factory rig, so they seen something in him that said, hey, this kid's got a great future, along with Sykes here, who was had a little bit of bad luck last year on the Sophie No Fear Samsung rider. He's putting in a great main event.
Well, the best way to bounce back from some bad luck is to begin a new season with some good luck, and nothing better than a win. And round number 2 in BC place for Ryan Sykes in Vancouver. And Dungey does exactly what he wanted to do. He comes to Canada and gets onto the podium. We're coming right back to Vancouver after this. BC place, Vancouver, British Columbia, enjoying the opportunity to see some of the bright future stars of Supercross competition put on the show tonight in the Supercross lights class here in Vancouver. The winner, Ryan Sykes, he's with Aaron.
Well, a perfect night from start to finish. You said yourself you wanted to go out there and lay down the law for your new team, but what does this win mean to you, Ryan?
Means a lot. You know, I've been pro for, this will be my 3rd year, and the heat race earlier today is the first thing I've ever won indoors. So, yeah, it's really good. A good way to start off with a new team, and I really want to thank all those guys.
And you had some pressure on your shoulders coming in here this weekend. What does this do for your confidence?
You know, I was feeling confident coming in. Pressure is pressure. If you do your work, you shouldn't feel that pressure. And I did my work, so and it paid off. You know, I'm in good shape and felt good out there. Bike was awesome. I really want to thank my mechanic for putting in the extra time, and all the guys on the team. They're doing a great job. Thanks.
Let's show you the results from this main event. And Ryan Dungey came in here and did exactly what he wanted to do too. He wanted one of the top 2 spots in tonight's main event, his first Supercross Lights main event, and he accomplished just that. Well, let's head back downstairs. Ryan Dungey is with Aaron.
Well, he most definitely did accomplish everything that he set out to do. Ryan, this was your debut at the Supercross Lights. Did you surprise yourself with your performance?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I knew I got the speed, and I just kept pushing each lap, putting in a good, strong laps, and felt like I was doing good rhythm section. The rhythm's all good, and no, it's great to be up here. I'm really happy right now, stoked for my team and me and everybody. You know, it's awesome.
Congratulations on a sweet success.
Thank you.
Well, did you miss any AMA racing action? Want to relive the excitement? Watch all the 2007 AMA Supercross and Superbike events on Speed, on demand, online. And it's all free, courtesy of Yamaha. So log on now to speedtv.com, keyword Yamaha, and get up to speed. Well, our next Toyota moving forward schedule shows you what's coming up. And boy, is the next one going to be great. Saturday night, January 6th. Mark it down on your calendar. We're coming to you live from Anaheim 1, the biggest Supercross race of the year. You'll see everything that takes place at the Big A right on Speed Live. It's going to be outstanding from Angels Stadium. What'd you think, Jeff?
Well, I was pretty impressed with Ryan Sykes. Seems that his training, practicing, everything's on par. Very impressed with Ryan Dungey. I loved his style. Great result.
For Aaron Bates, Jeff Emick, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Vancouver, and congratulations to our winner, Ryan Sykes.